out for three. Got it! 6.6 remaining. Timeout, Wake Forest.
I've been reading books of old, the legends of the gods.
He hit another one! Cold-blooded!
Spider-Man's control.
Here's Brooks with two. Brooks for three in the win. Hits it! Dennis Brooks, two.
On that list, she said, where'd you wanna go?
5 seconds to go.
Welcome, everybody, to the 4th annual Off the Cuff Selection Sunday show. I am Adam Banks. Thank you for listening. This is the start of my favorite series to do of the podcast, the March Madness episodes. I am joined by my MVP basketball stars, the professionals, I like to call them. You've heard them on the show a couple years past. Jordan Conatser, Chad Rainwater, and Zach Hahn. And I'm going to go around the room and kind of say hello to everybody. Zach, my first question to you, man, is did you remember to set your time up today?
Yeah, well, my phone does it automatically, thankfully, but wow, that was a doozy this morning.
Yeah, you remember? You know you're supposed to spring up. You're not supposed to fall back, right? The time goes up.
You spring forward.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for being on the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. Professional is a generous term for this group here, but we appreciate it, I'm sure.
Oh, man, no problem. Chad Rainwater, how's it going, man? How's it going?
It's good, man. It's awesome to be back on the show. You know, it's my favorite time of the year. It feels great to be back, man.
Yeah. I mean, you've been excited for the show, man. You know, you picked this song. You're the one that picked this song for us to come out to. And what's crazy is it's now the theme of March Madness 2017.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was going through iTunes and trying to find a top song, and I was listening to everything, and I thought that this one fit perfectly.
I was thinking about sending a cease and desist letter to CVS about using this song because that was ours. That belongs to Off the Cuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that.
I would do that. Just to give Off the Cuff some publicity. And also on the show we got Jordan Conatser, man. Jordan, what's going on, my man?
Glad to be back for the March Madness series. I'm hoping to be here for the next couple weeks too to help you all do the show. And like you said, it's the funnest time of year to get on here and talk a little basketball with some good friends.
It is, man, and we all got our brackets. You know, I miss the old school days where we could print our brackets off. We all tried to print our brackets off. Chad even brought a printer over to the studio to print a bracket off, and he had no ink in it. Went through all that work, and we couldn't print off our brackets. I couldn't print off our brackets. So
every year. We'll try another printer next year. I'll bring mine. It doesn't work.
For 2 years in a row, Jordan's writing his bracket out over here on a piece of paper.
Which is a very nice written out bracket.
Got to do what you got to do.
It is. It's a very nice bracket, but we all have our brackets filled out. We all kind of went through it really quick. That's the only way to really do it. Because when you really think about it, it's silly to think that we all know what we're talking about because we don't. We're just a bunch of guys making predictions on games that we have no idea. We know there's going to be upset. We know there's going to be upset after upset, buzzer beaters. There's going to be this could be the year that a 15 beats a 2. This could be the year that a 15
anything
beats
can
a 2.
happen in March.
Hey, that's not 15. That's not that out of the.
Last year there was
the year that 16 beats a 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. That's never happened. That'll be fun today that a 16 seed beats a 1 seed.
It's never happened. It's never happened. That would be crazy if it did. There's a lot of first-time teams in the tournament this year. NKU, now, this is a big moment kind of for me because I'm an employer of the Northern Kentucky University Norse. And, you know, Northern Kentucky Norses, they give me money every other week. So I'm happy that my employer has made it into March Madness. Now, I think that NKU is a team that could be they could be a Butler of the world. They could be a Boise State of the world. I think that their first year eligible to be in the NCAA tournament, what happened? They got in the NCAA tournament. So congratulations to the Norse.
Oh,
yeah, I hate the seed that they gave them. I hate who they seeded them with.
Right.
But you got to think, the other team in their conference is what, Jacksonville State?
Yep.
So even if they would have flip-flopped the 2 games, Northern Kentucky would have ended up playing Louisville. So either way, they set it up to where they matched Northern Kentucky up against a powerhouse Kentucky basketball team, and I wish they'd have put them on the other side. Something to, be able to cheer for Northern Kentucky to make a strong run and knock somebody off.
So would you be disappointed if NKU beat Kentucky?
Oh yeah,
you would.
I don't know anything about Northern Kentucky. I mean, they're about an hour and a half up the road.
That would be that would be a big upset. It would be a huge upset. Now you mentioned Jacksonville State. They're out of the OVC. Now I went to college at Morehead State, which is from the OVC conference. So I've seen a couple of these teams play. Zach, you're a fan of the OVC basketball conference.
OVC is a great league.
Yeah,
a great league. And who's
Jacksonville
State? That's right. They got a coach turned them around. Who they got them?
I have no idea who their coach is. But
That's OVC basketball there for you. It's like, I remember the schools, but this year, it could be anything. I was hoping Eastern would have made it. Just see Kentucky schools flood the tournament, but
that would be great if like Murray make a run or Morehead State again make a run. But
It's nice though, seeing like year after year now. It's always that one extra Kentucky team.
right.
I'm just, I haven't really paid attention this year, but I know like Western, they've got a new coach, and I know they've got a top 10 recruit coming in next year, and I haven't really paid attention to the smaller conferences that much this year, and I was kind of surprised that I guess Western just didn't have a good year. They've had a solid basketball team for several years now.
Yeah, Western's always that team.
They got
that-
Stansbury now, is that right?
Yeah.
They got Stansbury. That's
I
right.
think we'll
Good
see
coach.
the toppers in the tournament in the future. And,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of Kentucky schools have strong traditions. You'd see Murray or Morehead in there. It'd be nice to see everybody in there one year. But
That would be great.
you'd have to get somebody in the OVC with the at-large bid, and I don't think that's
Murray
gonna
did it
happen.
one year. Murray was
They got an at-large bid?
yeah. Murray was like a 12 seed one year, if you remember that,
I remember when Morehead got in and beat Louisville.
and beat Louisville. That was great.
Yep.
Sometimes Kentucky teams get into the tournament and they make history. Does anybody know anything about North Dakota State? They're new into the tournament. Anybody know anything about Northwestern?
Cricket.
This is the first time Northwestern's made it ever in their history. And that's pretty amazing because they've been in the Big Ten. There's so many times they could have got bids. You're telling me 23-11 is the best they've ever been?
And what they've been eligible for 73 years, something like
they've
that.
been around college athletics since the beginning.
Yeah. So I mean, a round of applause for the new teams that's in the tournament. Yeah.
They're another Wildcats. I mean, it's kind of. I wish we played them, knock them out.
Exactly. So, looking at our brackets, Chad, do you see any key games on your bracket that just stands out to you? Like, man, I look forward to this game in the tournament. This is the game that's going to have me glued to the TV.
Oh, well, let's see here. Looking over here in the West, one of my biggest upsets that I have, and I'm looking forward to this game, is Florida Gulf Coast. Is that right? Yeah.
Florida Gulf Coast,
Yeah.
That's a tongue twister right there. Against Florida State. I have Florida Gulf Coast. I'm going to just start saying FGC because that's really hard to say. But anyway, 2013, they made that run to the Sweet 16, and I think they have a chance to do it this year. They have a really good team, it looks like. Let's see, I didn't know much about them coming in, but I did some research. They got a guy that puts up 18 points a game. Their guard, Brandon Goodwin, and I think they have a good chance of beating Florida State in the first round.
Hey, I mean, I agree with you, man. Jordan, looking at the number one seeds in the tournament, you got Gonzaga, you got UNC, you got who else? Who else we got?
Kansas and Nova.
Who's the first one to drop?
First one to drop, in my opinion, the first one that I have to drop is going to be Gonzaga. I've got Gonzaga winning the first game, and then I have Vanderbilt beating Northwestern.
Uh-huh.
And then I like Bryce Drew at Vandy.
Yeah.
I think Vandy's got
I like
a
Bryce
shooting
Drew.
team. They have a team that can really compete, like size up, just the matchups and stuff. Neither Gonzaga or Vandy are very, big, strong athletic teams like Kentucky and the Dukes and Kansases and stuff like that are. They're more fundamental basketball teams, and I think Vandy has a really good shot of beating Gonzaga in the second round.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that for sure.
So I think they'll be the first to go out, and then I think Villanova's going to be the second. They've got a pretty, they've got Wisconsin, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Florida. I mean, those are pretty solid teams. Nova's older and experienced, but I also don't think Nova's going to repeat what they did last year.
Right. Well, I have in the championship game, man. If I'm looking at my championship game right now, I have.
You're already going to go to the championship game?
Well, I'm just looking at my number one seeds. I don't even have a number one seed in my championship game. So that's what it.
I don't have a number one in my
Final four?
Final four. Of
Oh,
all
wow.
teams.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But back to the what number one seed's going to get put out first. I have two number one seeds going out in the Sweet 16. I have Gonzaga losing to West Virginia, and I also have here's a shocker here. I have Kansas getting beat by Iowa State. Kansas track record. They're always going to put out early.
That would surprise me.
I
I
got
don't think it's
Kansas Banks, I teased it, and I gotta announce it. I'm predicting that either NCC or UCD will beat Kansas to be the first number 1 seed to lose.
Ooh.
I mean, can we all agree that Kansas might be the first number 1 seed to get beat?
That's mine.
They're so reliant on Frank
mine.
Mason, and when he's not hitting, they're not doing much. And if he comes out and has a bad game, they easily can get beat by either Michigan State or in the next round Purdue
Miami.
or Iowa State.
Yeah.
Or Miami. Yeah, any of those teams that can put up a good game.
Is it likely to
Kansas.
happen? No, but it's got to happen eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, they've played so many
Time.
close games here recently. They've played so many close games, and
But Kansas, here's the
That
thing about
makes a good
Kansas, though.
point.
Kansas, it's happened so many years for them. They have been beaten and upset so many years. They are bound to have a year to where they're not going to get upset, and they are going to make a run. They are going to make a Final Four. I mean, this could be that year for Kansas, but they're my first number 1 seed to go.
I think it could be their year, but then again, Kansas has been trouble-ridden all year with
that's
just
true.
off the side. Like, I know before they played Kentucky, they were going through like the big rape scandal in their
Hitting
dorm
around in
rooms.
the tournament.
And that Josh Jackson kid, I think it was his first name, Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson, yeah.
Kid's a hell of a ball player, but he can't stay out of trouble. It's just silly, stupid crimes he's committing.
Right.
And I mean, I think he's been in outside trouble twice this year, both involving cars and just, hit like he did like a back into a car and then drove off.
I
And
mean,
that's why
Kansas is way more reliant on Frank Mason than UK is on Malik Monk for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's also your point guard. Last year we were more reliant on Tyler Eulis than we were anything. When you have a Naismith, finalist as your starting point guard who's a 5th-year senior, then you're going to be relying on him. He's the leader. That's his team.
Yeah.
Is there any teams that you guys see that surprised you? Any teams that when you looked at the bracket, you were like, WTF, why are they in the tournament? I mean, I thought Syracuse would probably be that team this year that I would be like, wow, how'd they get in? But, hey, they didn't get in, so, hey.
I mean, Michigan State, but that's probably because of their coach, who they have as their coach.
I've got them going out.
They but the thing with them is they have two of their 3 top scorers who missed a significant amount of games. Miles Bridges, their leading scorer, he missed 7 games, and Iran Harris, he missed 5 games. So I mean, they finished 5th in the Big Ten. They've been 19-14. I don't know if they're giving them some slack just because of the players that they missed, or if it's because they have such a good track record in the tournament. I'm not sure about that. Would anybody else agree with me that wonder how they got in?
I mean, just really quick though, you talk about I have Miami upsetting that team we were talking about. What team? Michigan State, yeah. And going all the way to the Elite 8.
Wait, who was that? You have Miami?
Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Coming
I
out
have
of
Miami.
ACC,
Yeah.
but-
Then I have Miami beating Kansas, which is the first number 1 seed out. Then I have Miami in the Elite 8. So Miami's going to make a run. So Michigan State, that's the snub, or that is the not the snub, but Michigan State is the team that should not be in
the
there.
rise for you. So
Exactly. So, let's just get to our Final Fours. Let's talk about our Final Fours. Let's look at our Final Fours, everybody. I'm going to go around the panel here and just talk about our Final Fours and tell me why that your Final Four is your Final Four.
So quick?
Yeah. So, Chad, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
All right, let me break down. Let me explain how the teams got there, or just go ahead and just explain your Final Four.
Yeah, I want you to explain basically.
Putting Chad on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, you can explain
Aren't
your Final Four. You just say your Final Four and explain why. And you can explain the trail and how they got there. And why.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Out of the East region, we'll go to the Elite 8. I have Nova and Duke. I think both of those teams are the best teams out of the East region. At first, I went with Duke to go to the Final Four. Changed it to Nova. Watched a little Nova last night. They're really good. Josh Hart's, he's their best player, trying to come back to make a repeat in the
Maybe
championship.
the best player in the country.
Maybe the best player of the country. Went back with Duke just because they're so hot right now. 4 games in 4 days, winning the ACC tournament. I'm going with Duke in the Final Four over Villanova, so that's my East.
Mm-hmm.
Then in my West, I feel like the best team in the West is Arizona. I mean, they got paired up with Gonzaga. Gonzaga, I think, is legit this year. I don't think they're as bad, or I don't think they're as underrated or overrated as everybody thinks they are. I have Arizona beating West Virginia to go to the Final Four. And then in the Midwest, my Midwest is kind of kind of messed up here because I have Kansas getting beat by Iowa State to go to the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Dirty Birds of Louisville beating Iowa State to go to the Final Four. I mean, one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Right.
Beating Iowa State, yeah. I don't think Iowa State has what it takes to get to the Final Four. I mean,
But you think they got it to
I think they could
Elite
beat.
Eight?
Yeah, I think they could beat Kansas. I think Louisville's better than Kansas.
Absolutely.
I think Louisville has one, like I said, has one of the best defensive teams in the country.
As always.
Sometimes they can't score, but
Their defense makes up for it.
Their defense does
yeah.
make up for it, but they've got two big offensive powers, and that's all Louisville has. Like all their big men are defensive. They've got Mitchell and what's that kid's name? Snyder, maybe.
Quentin Snyder.
Yeah, and
Quentin
they're
Snyder
both.
and Mitchell, yeah.
If they get in foul trouble, like the other day I watched against Duke, and I believe it was Mitchell got into foul trouble early in the first half, and they just struggled to get points.
Yeah, they're big men. Adele and Mathiang. And Mathiang, he's been there since like 1994. I swear, he's been there for a long time. But yeah, so I have
looks like he's been their best player this year. I mean, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He's their
Donovan-
leading
15
scorer.
He gets 5 rebounds. Played in 32 games for him, so
He's like
they've got a little bit more. I've got Louisville in my Final Four for sure.
Yeah, so I think Louisville has what it takes to get to the Final Four. That Midwest region isn't. I guess they are.
Okay, so you've got Louisville.
So I got Louisville in the Midwest, and then in the South, we go with my homeboys, Kentucky Wildcats.
Okay.
All right, I got Kentucky beating UCLA to get to the Elite Eight. Then it brings that matchup which was a great matchup from the beginning of the season against North Carolina.
But wait a minute, wait. I want to stop you there with the UCLA matchup. Why do you have them beating UCLA? You can't just say they're going to beat UCLA. Why, when UCLA has had Kentucky's number 2 years in a row, why during a big matchup in March will they beat UCLA?
I think it's going to come down to I think Cal's finally going to get this team prepared. If it is UCLA we play, I think he's going to get them prepared for them really well. Like you said, they've beaten us twice in the past 2 years. I don't think they can do it 3 times. So I just think that I think this third time it'll be UK to come out on top.
I agree.
Especially the way you've been playing.
I completely agree.
We've won 11 in a row. By then, I guess it'll be 13 in a row. I don't know. I'm just of course I got to go with UK.
I wanted to hear your explanation because I have the same matchup. I have UCLA versus UK. So I wanted to know why you thought that they were going to beat UCLA, and I completely agree with you. It's like you just grabbed the words right out of my throat, and you just said
it's tough right there. UCLA is playing really good ball, but I think that right now we're starting to hit our peak, and I think that we have one of the best teams in the country right now.
Okay, so they get by UCLA.
Get by UCLA, play UNC to go to the Final Four, and I think that we beat them again. We beat them for a second time this year, and Kentucky goes to the Final Four. So that's my Final Four. I got Villanova. No, take that back. I got Duke, Arizona, Kentucky, and Louisville. And, yep, that's it.
Okay, and then go ahead and give me your final game, and then give me your champion.
All right, well, let's see over here on the left side in the East and the West. I'm going to have Duke beating Arizona. I think Arizona has one of the best teams in the nation. But I think Duke, like UK, is really high right now. I think Duke can beat Arizona. And then on the right side, I got a rematch. And one of our biggest rival against Louisville.
Ooh.
And we get payback from earlier in the season. They had a number in the game 1, but I think that we'll come back in game 2 and we can beat them. So I got Duke and Kentucky in the Final Four.
What a game that would be.
You got Duke and Kentucky in the finals,
No, Duke and Kentucky in the final game. 25th anniversary of the Christian Leighton. Christian Leitner shot.
Absolutely.
I hate him so bad I can't even say his name. I hate him so bad I can't even say it. But yeah, Kentucky and Duke in a championship game.
Okay, and then the winner is?
We'll find out later in the show.
Okay. So, Zach, let's walk us through to your Final Four, man. Tell us your Final Four and tell us how they got there.
All right. Well, in the East, I think you got to take the defending champs. Like Chad said, they got arguably the best player in the country, and I think they look like a shoe-in to get to the Final Four. Coming out of the West region, I like Florida State, man. They're so athletic. They had a couple of couple of big men. They had a little big man combo. Let me see. Who was that? But I like them to get to the Final Four. Dwayne Bacon.
Oh, Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State's got some ball players, man. They're just a young
They have
team,
some
and
athletes.
they've got that the Isaac kid.
Chris,
He's about,
they got a 7'4" dude, Chris Kumaje.
and then
7'1" guy.
that 7'1" guy's like
6'10",
like 330 pounds.
They got a lot of size. I think they could. They said it didn't work in the tournament, but I think they could get them to the Final Four at least.
All I know is that Isaac kid reminds me of Kevin Durant.
Harrelson carried UK to the Final Four one year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the other side of the bracket, I got the same thing that Chad has. I got
Arizona.
I got Louisville and Kentucky
Okay.
on the right side of the bracket,
Okay.
and I got Kentucky winning that, going to the championship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kentucky going to the championship. That's 2.
Cal seemed so
Swaggy.
he's so swaggy.
Yeah, he's ready for the tournament. On his interview right after the Selection Sunday show, he seems confident and
Yeah,
ready.
I got to root for him after that.
Yeah, he's ready. I think he likes his matchups. I think he
And then,
does.
I'll go ahead and give you my champ.
Okay.
Yeah, I got UK beating the defending champions. So now in the back-to-back, I think that'd be a great matchup. Another milestone in Cal. Maybe we'd be talking greatest coach of all time.
Ooh, wow.
On the table after that. So I'm going to root for it. I got the Kentucky Wildcats winning in the tiebreaker, 175.
Very, very interesting. And Jordan, walk us through your Final Four.
My Final Four out of the East, I've got Duke, and then I have Arizona out of the West. I have Kansas out of the Midwest, and then I have North Carolina in the South. I've got a couple upsets. I've got 3 SEC teams in the Elite Eight. I've got Duke playing Florida.
Okay.
I've got Florida taking out Villanova. And then also in the West, I have Vandy taking out Gonzaga to play Arizona. But I don't think either one of those teams are fundamentally sound enough to be able to beat either Arizona or Duke. Duke's the hottest team in the nation right now by far. They're the preseason #1 team, and they're the one team I just do not want to see. It'd be nice to see Kentucky play them in the championship game, but
That's the team, because you warned me about this team. When I spoke to you on the phone a couple of days ago, you said there's this team that you don't want Kentucky to meet, and it's Duke.
it's Duke. I do not want to play Duke. They are as hot as it gets. They're probably the hottest team I've seen in college basketball in a long time.
Duke.
I mean, they started the season with the 3-star freshmen, the Bolden, Harry Giles, and Jason Tatum. They all set out for like the first 8 games.
Right.
And Giles was like the #1 overall recruit coming out of high school, and he's not panned out. He's getting better, but Jason Tatum is one of the most freakish athletes in college basketball right now. That kid's going to be one heck of a pro, and they're just playing. And they've moved, Grayson Allen to 6th man now. He's not starting. That's the best 6th man in the nation. As
Grayson
much as
Allen?
I do not like Grayson Allen, he's a punk, and he
Shouldn't be playing college basketball.
He's a big child.
Right.
But Luke Kennard, that's who I'd have loved for Kentucky to get right there. That kid's a leader, and he's a sophomore.
Okay.
He's carrying that team, but I've got Duke beating Arizona
Okay.
on the left side of the bracket to advance to the championship game. Now, on the right side of the bracket, I have Kansas and Louisville in my Elite Eight. I see Kansas being able to overcome Louisville. I think Kansas just took a tough loss to TCU, and I think they're going to make a nice little run in the tournament.
Right.
And then in the South, I have North Carolina in the Elite Eight playing the University of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Kentucky being able to beat them.
Wow. Kentucky's
Kentucky is
gone.
my team, but
Kentucky goes down to UNC.
without in the first game, without Malik Monk scoring 47 points, we would have not had a chance against North Carolina.
No, but they had some guys as well who had huge games. Justin Jackson had 38
he had
points.
30
They had
some.
that Stephen May dude go off for 15. That was his career game. So, I mean, you can't say that we only won because Malik Monk had 47 points. Jay had 47, but they also had guys who played really well also.
Yeah, they did have, but I just feel like North Carolina is one of the most sound teams that's in college basketball right now. I think it's going to be hard for anybody to beat North Carolina. But my Final Four coming out of that side, I have North Carolina, Kansas, and then I have North Carolina taking Kansas out. It's going to be 2 experienced teams, 2 older teams playing each other. So I have the fulfilled fourth matchup of UNC Duke.
UNC
this
and
year.
Duke. North Carolina, owning the state of North Carolina owning college basketball.
A couple miles down the road from each other. That'll be, as much as I hate to say it, because those are two teams, especially the Dookie Blue Devils, that I do not like. But I think those are the two best teams in college basketball right now. And I think Duke's going to take their third win over North Carolina this year and go ahead and take that trophy home, as much as I hate to say that.
So that makes 6 championships for Coach Mike Krzyzewski. That makes 6 championships.
Hey, but he is one of the greatest coaches of all time.
He is one of the greatest coaches of all time, and does
Not the greatest.
and that's what I wanted to kind of say. I wanted to say something about Coach K because I think it's worth mentioning. You know, he got inducted into the Hall of Fame a couple years back. He has won 5 championships, and he's won at a time, Zach. He's won at a time when it was different in different eras. Like in the 90s, college basketball was different than it is now. Now we're living in the one and done era. He adjusted to that and has won 2 championships in that era. He won in 2010 and he won in 2015.
Yeah, but John Wooden won 10 out of 12, man.
Yeah, but John Wooden won in a different time of college basketball.
Yeah,
It wasn't that much different. Like,
It was like, now there's 60-some teams in the tournament. John Wooden was playing in a tournament when there was, 16 teams?
he coached the school for 28 years. You know, like you gotta have some longevity. I mean, Coach K does, but he doesn't have the championships that Wooden had, and I think that's what it comes down to.
He's getting there.
He's got the gold medals. I mean, he's a great coach. I'm not trying to sell him short. How can you not respect Coach K? But I think John Wooden had a player All-American. That's got to count for something. That's part of being a coach.
Yeah. But look at what, also something that makes Coach K such a great coach is he takes a program like Duke, who was never going to be an elite basketball program until Coach Mike Krzyzewski showed up. UCLA was the University of California in Los Angeles. It was a huge university.
Yeah,
Duke.
they had 800 winning. He had an 800 winning percentage for his career. He was 664 and 162. That's incredible. Like, the dude just won games. It's statistically clear, John Wooden, to me.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski, you mentioned that stat. He has won a total of 1,070 games.
Well, they played more games.
1,070 games, and
He's
only lost 329. That's a 76.5.
Yeah, that's not as good as they did before.
That is a 76.5% winning percentage. But what's it matter? He's won more championships in an era where it was harder to win college basketball games. That's what I have to say.
Since we're on the topic of Duke, I like to put my 2 cents in here.
Right.
Kind of going against what Jordan's saying. Jordan thinks the Duke Blue Devils are going to win it all this year. I got 2 interesting facts here that prove why Duke will not win the championship in 2017.
Okay.
All right, number one, my number 1 fact about Duke.
He sounds serious. He sounds very serious about this.
All right, for the last 20 years, every national champion has had at least 1 true road home game for that season. Duke did not have 1 true road game this year. The last team that did that didn't have a true road game was Kentucky, 21 years ago. That's the first reason why Duke won't win. I think history repeats itself this year. The second reason is because Duke has won 5 titles under Coach K. Is that all they've had? Yeah,
They won 5 titles under Coach K. Yes.
All those 5 titles have come in a city that ended with Appalus. Minneapolis, Indianapolis. This year the Final Four is in Phoenix. They ain't happening. It ain't happening this year. Coach K will not win the title this year because of those 2 facts. Mark my word right now.
Okay.
Mark my word.
Very
He might be able to talk his kids into thinking it's Phoenixapolis.
Maybe he can do that, but
If anybody can do
they
it,
ain't doing
it's
it.
Coach K.
They're not doing it.
It's Coach K. That's very interesting. Duke, man. Wow.
They're so hot right now, man. Everything started clicking for Duke about a month ago. Whenever they first beat Carolina.
Where's his Duke shirt?
Yeah,
Where's his Duke shirt?
Duke
We
lost
take
the
that
last
picture after this. You
Duke
better
lost the
wear it,
last
Duke.
3 of 7 games going into the tournament.
Yeah,
They weren't that hot. They might be hot right now, but they lost 3 games there at the end of the season.
They have, and Duke's been shaky all season. And I'm not trying to sound like a Duke fan because that's the last thing in this world that I am as a Duke fan. I'm just
the Elite 8. They look good. I'm not trying to sell them too short, but they got to play the defending champs, man. Nova's 31-3.
Yeah, Nova's a beast. Nova is a beast. Well, so Duke, okay. I need to say my Final Four because I haven't got to my Final Four yet.
The
Now,
thing, and Chad's still got his champion out
oh,
there, too.
and Chad. Yeah, Chad's still holding on to his champion. Chad, do you want to reveal that champion, or are you still waiting?
Wait.
Okay, we're waiting. We're waiting. So my Final Four, I'm gonna go. I don't do the West, East, this, that because I get confused with it. So I'm just gonna say on the top right of your bracket, I got the Louisville Cardinals going into the Final Four.
Is that unanimous?
I think it is.
I've got Kansas.
No,
I've got Kansas.
he's got Kansas.
3-1.
Listen, I like Rick Pitino. He's one of the greatest coaches to ever breathe, and he is a tournament coach, and he is hungry for another championship. And I think he feels like he has something to prove. And I think his defense, he's got the best defense in college basketball. Mm-hmm. He's so aggressive with his defense, and I just think that he's going to go to the Final Four. On the bottom right, I've got the University of Kentucky. I think this is anybody's tournament. So if you're going to put somebody in the Final Four, you got to put UK because UK has proven after they've been to more Final Fours than any other college basketball team since 2010.
The one thing I will say for UK, man, is that the SEC tournament, they've been on a roll. Kentucky's been playing defense like there's no tomorrow, and that's something we have not seen out of Kentucky all year long. At the start of the year, we kind of did. We saw the mass scoring and stuff, but their defense hasn't been there until these past couple games, and that's one thing that I'm really getting excited about.
I am too, man. And on the left top, I got Duke, everybody's favorite team of tonight, I guess. Duke. Does everybody have Duke? Is that?
No, I got Nova.
Oh, you got Nova. Nova's going to be a hard team to beat.
I went back and forth. I had picked Duke, though.
Nova's a tough team to beat, but I got Duke in there. But on the bottom left, I kind of lied at the beginning. Didn't think I had a number one seed in there, but I do. I have to put a number one seed in the Final Four. I have to put one.
You going with Gonzaga?
So I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I think that their 32 wins speaks for itself. I think that a 32-win team knows what they're doing, so I'm going to put them in the Final Four. So I got Gonzaga beating Duke, so that puts UK beating Louisville, and that means I got UK versus Gonzaga in the championship game. So, Chad, who do you have as your champion?
Your 2017 national champions are going to be Kentucky Wildcats.
The Kentucky
I hope
Wildcats.
you're right. I sure do hope you're right.
So,
Mine too.
And that's Zach's.
We're just playing so well right now, man. I really think that this team has what it takes to win the championship. Like I said earlier, we've won 11 games in a row. Right now, we're a top 10 defensive team, which is surprising, as bad as we were at the beginning of the year. But it depends on how our defense is going to play. I'm not worried about our offense because I don't think there's a team out there that can shut us down. It's going to be how our defense is. If you come out giving up a lot of shots, don't guard our men, it's not going to happen. But I think right now this team is playing well enough that I think that we want to have what it takes.
This one was a tough one for me, Gonzaga versus UK, and my champion, which I'll say in just a few seconds. I think that Gonzaga 32 wins, man. That's, like I said, that speaks for itself. That is a team that is going to be.
But who was the toughest team in their conference they played? Like Cal State Gold Rush University or something?
They're going to be ready, and UK is so scrappy. I mean, they could have one of the best games of their life if Malik Monk plays well and De'Aaron Fox is on fire like he keeps going. But I think when it all is said and done, your 2017 national championships or national champion is going to be the University of Kentucky Wildcats. I think that they are going to be cutting down the nets at the end of the tournament in April.
Kentucky is the one thing about Kentucky is they've got to get the Bam Adebayo, the offense. He's got to continue with the offense. Our offense will not play the way we need to play to win a national championship game without the likes of Bam Adebayo being a big man in the center. Then you also have to have Dominique Hawkins is going to give you the hustle, but we also need that hustle out of Derek Willis, and we need Derek Willis to start hitting some threes. That's two seniors. Hawkins he's been there all year. Willis has just been off and on all year, and I think those are the three biggest keys: Willis, Hawkins, and Adebayo for us to win a championship. If they all three show up every night, you're going to get your production out of Monk, and then you're going to either get your production out of Fox or Briscoe.
Yeah, I don't think you can win a national championship with Dominique Hawkins playing the point guard. I think we need to keep him on the bench. And I also think
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
No,
he
he
needs
needs
to
to
come.
come.
He needs to get some time.
You know,
Like,
I'm
he's
proud of the
supposed to-
guy. He's a Kentucky boy. I love seeing him living the
Well,
dream, but
listen to
we can't win a
Jordan over
championship.
there,
We can't win a championship with Dominique Hawkins running the point. We got to have De'Aaron Fox at his best.
And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, but you need Dominique Hawkins to come off that bench as, your seventh man, and you need him to be that senior leadership, that hustle, whenever these other guys aren't hustling. You've got the smallest guy on the court over here, hey, man, come on, look what I'm doing.
Right.
All these kids, he's not the star player, but he's the leader. And all these kids are going to watch him, and they understand that. They know that. They've been around him all year, and some of them for many of years. But he's, in my opinion, the biggest player on our team that's going to make a difference in the energy we bring every night. Because of the energy he brings.
Right.
And that's going to allow these other young kids to follow in his path. So I think we need Hawkins to show up every night with the same intensity he's been bringing.
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps playing like he's been playing in the SEC tournament, I think he's probably been the MVP of the tournament because of his tenacity and his aggressiveness through the tournament. But if he keeps playing like he has been, we need him on the court like that. But Bam Adebayo, you mentioned him. He needs to start using his body. His body is so huge. He needs to be dunking more. He needs to be making those dunks more, and he needs to not be letting people in the around the basket as much as he's been. He's too big of a guy to be letting that happen. He's letting too many shots happen like that. But if he can change and he can get his act together, man, they can be the champions. So we got UK, and Duke.
I know, Banks, you need to start running ads on Off the Cuff so that we can buy Jordan a Duke shirt with the revenues, because it could have been a unanimous pick. I think Adam, you and Chad, you both, and myself, we all liked Swaggy Cal there in the press conference, and that they look like champions. But Jordan has to be the realist in the room.
I've got him going out in the Elite Eight. As much as I hate to say that, I've got him going in the Elite Eight.
To who?
North Carolina.
Oh yeah, because you said there's no way that Monk can do it again. What if he scored? How many he scored in the last game?
47.
What if he scored 50?
Hey, well, I'll be jumping up and down, buddy. I'll be right there with you if Kentucky can
He
win
hopes
that.
he's
You wouldn't, because then Duke was in trouble then. If that happened.
And if I hope I'm wrong in my prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
To swear off being a Coach K fan.
I hope we're bringing the championship trophy to Lexington, Kentucky. That's all I've got to say, but I'm going to have to be a realist right here, and I just don't think we have it this year.
It's always interesting to go back and listen to, and when we do the second podcast of the tournament, it's going to be interesting to see what we were saying on this one. Because, like I said in the beginning, we don't know what we're talking about. This is all just prediction, man. Duke could be the first.
Hey, and I hope I come and eat my foot next week. I want to see Duke go out in the first round to Troy.
I mean, I got
that would
this
nothing would
tournament
make
is
my day
so
much
wide
better.
open. And even by NCAA tournament standards, this is a wide open tournament. I mean, even Virginia, who I've got going out in the first round, in the bracket that I did up, they could win the championship.
So, before we go, let me ask you: do you have any sleepers, Zach?
I like Middle Tennessee to get to the Sweet 16. Reggie Upshaw, I think's his name. He looks like a pretty good player. They had a great record and pretty easy path there. Chad, who they got?
Reggie Upshaw, like you mentioned. They also have.
They got to beat Minnesota. Dick Pitino. I don't think they can get that. And then Butler, who doesn't look that great either. So.
Yeah, Butler's starting a little bit of a downfall ever since Brad Stevens left.
Yeah.
They're still there, but they're still kind of just falling. I understand that they've got one of his assistants now coaching, and he kind of keeps the same style, but I could definitely see Middle Tennessee State doing something.
Yeah, that's what I have them as well. I have them beating.
I've seen Richard Pitino and Minnesota play a couple times this year. I've managed to catch that, and they don't look that good. Really
He's bringing that team up, but they're not there yet.
Richard Pitino, man, he's making me eat my foot, because I said a couple of years ago that he was going to be, in 15 years, one of the top 5 college basketball coaches in the game currently. And he's won an NIT championship, but he's not done anything since.
Yeah.
And he's had a terrible year, and he just sneaked his way into the tournament this year. But, hey, I wish him luck.
Yeah, well, he got the NIT championship in his first year in Minnesota, didn't he?
Yep.
See, and that's what I was right there with you, man. He came in with recruiting. Mm-hmm. He wasn't getting the best players, but he had a pretty solid team coming in there, and I figured, first year doing something like that, they were to continue the rise of that Minnesota Gophers basketball team. But it's not been that sight so far.
Hey,
So
did Memphis? Did they make the NIT? Because I'm looking at them now. They were 19-13, and might be my team I'd like to see make the tournament. Tubby Smith, that would have been good.
Did Tubby make the tournament? I don't.
no, they're
No,
not.
they didn't make it, but their record, they might have made the NIT.
Man,
I'm
Tubby's,
sure they made the NIT.
Tubby's not done much
Well, I
since
hope
he
they
left
win the
Kentucky.
NIT and that Tubby Smith's back in the tournament next year.
I don't like
That'd be
Tubby. They can have him.
Yeah.
great. You think they match us up?
I do not like Tubby.
Tubby's at Memphis?
Yes.
Since when?
This is his first year at Memphis.
Man, Tubby's
I
Tubby.
didn't realize. I saw that Passner went.
He is a
to-
whore hopper with college basketball teams. I mean, he hops from team to team with coaching.
Hey, well, I know. I think we got the best trade out right there. Not really a trade out, but hey, they can have Tubby. We have Cal. Y'all have fun, Memphis.
right. Enjoy Tubby Smith. Chad, you got any sleepers?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Middle Tennessee as well, just like Zach. I haven't actually gone to the Sweet 16. I haven't beaten Minnesota, and I also haven't beaten Butler. I think Zach said you said the same thing. You haven't been in the Sweet 16 as well.
Who's that?
Middle Tennessee. You haven't been in the
Yeah.
Sweet 16. Yeah, I mean, they were the team that knocked off Michigan State last year, so they have what it takes. Brandon Goodwin averages a little over 18 points a game, and actually, take that back. Ja'Cory Williams averaged almost 18 points a game, and Giddy Potts. I think he has one of the greatest names in the tournament right now. I think they went 30-4, finished first in the USA conference, and I think they have a chance to go to the Sweet 16. So I'm going with Middle Tennessee, and like I said earlier, I also have Florida Gulf Coast winning a couple games as well. But other than that, I don't really think I have any other any sleepers. I think that's about it.
So I think this is the first bracket I've ever done where I just don't have any really big bracket busters in the first round. My biggest probably sleeper, you could say, in my whole bracket is Vanderbilt going to the Elite Eight.
Right. So you got them beating Gonzaga?
Yeah, I've got Vandy in the Elite Eight.
Wow.
Hey, they're on the rise, man.
They are.
Vandy's on the rise right now, and they have a very fundamentally sound basketball team that just plays smart basketball, kind of like Butler did under Brad Stevens. It's just they play smart fundamental basketball, and I think that's going to take them pretty far, apparently.
Right. You know, if I could read this bracket on my computer, I could give you guys a better understanding of my sleepers. But I can't read this bracket. It just
You can't read it?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like it's confusing. It's just jumbled
Well,
in
it
the
needs
teams.
to be.
But just looking at it, I think my biggest upset is Middle Tennessee State, like everybody
I think
else.
is it Middle Tennessee or Middle Tennessee State?
I think
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State.
it's
Oh,
Middle
it is?
Tennessee
Okay.
State, and you know, I just wish that I could be different, but I think that's just kind of how it is. I think everybody says
Oh,
that.
we've got.
I mean, they pulled the upsets last year.
American consensus. We have a consensus for sure.
We absolutely do. So, you know, we have just closed up another edition of the Off the Cuff Selection Sunday show. It's been fun yet again, guys, to do this. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, we have the next episode we are going to be doing. We'll be covering what happened on the first couple rounds of the tournament, and then we'll be previewing the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight games. So I hope to have you guys.
I hope you'll have me back again. Always great to be on for March on Off the Cuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Chad,
man. Look forward to being back here next week. It's gonna be awesome. I'm curious to see how these first round of the games go.
It's going to be
So
fun.
see you on Monday.
Yeah, we'll see. Enjoy, man.
We'll be
Always
back
a
in the
pleasure.
studio next Monday.
Back in the studio, man. And Zach, you never mentioned how nice the studio was.
Oh, well, I've gotten used to it. I've been so many years. I guess I'm taking it for granted. I mean, just the way that you've got the marble finish in here really just sets the place off. And I always feel so classy being in here.
And the microphones, like, they're up to
Lux.
date. Yes.
Maybe by next week we can print out our brackets. So
Yeah.
I have to look over. It's really hard to look off our computer.
It
Jordan,
really
you keep
is.
your piece of paper. Don't lose that, man.
I won't lose
Don't
my
lose
piece
that
of
paper. We need that for next week.
He needs to draw up a blank bracket. And
We
print
should
off
all,
copies.
the four of us should put our brackets against each other and like.
That's what I was thinking.
NCAA.com
I thought we should do
and, announce the results.
An
I thought we
off the
should
cuff
just do four
bracket.
of us and put
Yeah.
$15 towards each bracket
I
or
think
whatever.
people at home want,
Or
they
10.
deserve it. If they've listened to this
Let's do
entire
it. Let's
podcast,
us four do.
All
Let's
right.
all do our
y'all
brackets.
deserve to know who
Okay.
wins.
I like that. I like that idea.
Y'all just send me your brackets. I'll print them out. You have a printer?
The three of us might be tied though. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
we all
all
have
our
the same
games.
bracket.
we have similar brackets, but
There's
there's got
gotta be
to be a winner. There's got to be a
some
winner.
differences. I really do have a 16 beating Kansas.
Yeah, and I don't have Duke winning the championship.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
this
so
is-
two- yeah.
All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next March Madness edition of Off the Cuff. I'm Adam Banks. Thank you to my guests for being here. We'll see you in the next episode.